Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, and today your OBC, your original Boruto Chief, is going to be bringing you guys the community response for Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 30, your predictions. As per usual, we're going to start over on Patreon, and then we're going to go over to YouTube and see what you guys predicted for the chapter. In the future, if you want to be a part of these videos, always keep an eye on the community tab over on the channel. Usually in the first 2 weeks of the month, I'll post this over on YouTube. And if you're a patron, you obviously get priority when it comes to getting your predictions and being part of the video. So the chapter review is done, and you guys will be seeing it on the 20th. I'm going to release the chapter review when it comes out on Manga Plus. That way it links up with the release date of the official release. So I thank you guys in advance for your patience and your support. So without further ado, let's just go right into it. But first, we got to read this comment here. So Nami is the best One Piece girl. Everyone knows it. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Your OBC patrons get that joke. All right. So Alkuji, the Forsaken Storyteller, says, yo, what's good? Based off of the preview, I think the chapter is going to be half and half Himawari-centric, where everything starts to go wrong with the Mamushi clone, and a continuation of Kobu and Shikamaru, with Koji working in the background because he knows something's off, and things are going a bit too smooth. So yeah, Koji was definitely plotting. That man was on absolute demon time. Holy, I draw like a Koji and Makima comparison in the chapter review. It's gonna make sense when you get it. I keep it short because that's a major Chainsman spoiler, so I don't go into detail on it, but it's like a wink and a nod for the people that they've read Chainsman. They know exactly what I'm referring to on that one. So yeah, I love that, man. Like, I was already a Kashin Koji fan. He jumped further up my list for Boruto characters. So Charismatic Charles says, I would love to see Boruto use Byakugan-based jutsu like the palms or rotation as an homage to Neji. That would be cool. I would like that too. I want to see Himawari wield a hammer. A hammer? Like Thor? What kind of hammer are you talking about? I feel like I'm missing something here. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like I'm missing something. All right. Imagine her shaping BG Damas in the shape of a hammer and just smacking people. That'd be dope. That'd be dope. That'd be like extreme change in chakra shape transformation there, but that would be dope. There hasn't been someone wield a hammer in the Naruto universe since that one guy from the Mist Swordsman. Oh, yes. Yes, the 7 Ninja Swordsman. That's where you were going with it. Okay. I should feel embarrassed because, like, I have a video script I've done that I've not recorded on the 7 Ninja Swords of the Mist. Like, I literally wrote the script a few months ago. Damn. That's a good one. I like that. And the one loser turned himself into Jesus Christ. That Kenshiki. But that was more of a scythe, though. Did Kenshiki use a hammer? Because he had a scythe and he had an axe and a few other things. I don't remember if Kenshiki had a hammer, though. But, man, that's kind of crazy, man. Let's see. Benito DeCooch says, yo, Naruto, explain. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. Bear down, because the Bears got their ass whooped. I'm recording this right after the Rams, my Super Bowl pick, absolutely just kicked that ass in overtime. I ain't gonna lie, though. Caleb Williams had me completely sweating. Holy. I was nervous, man. My preseason pick was the Rams versus Bills for the Super Bowl. Bills absolutely choked it. You know, Bills thing's like a little... The Bills thing is a little biased, only because I got family that played for the Bills back in the 90s. So it's like one of those things like, but let's see. Mamushi will be on the cover. Kashin Koji gets an update from Precincts. Okay. Even deadlier than the previous update he got. So I think that's going to happen next chapter based off of how the Koji and Kobu and Inojin, but I like where you're going with this. Shikamaru interview starts with Kobu and he probably gets scolded on Peach. Maybe part of the new update. I could see that. That explains why Koji acted like he did. I like where you're going with this. Mamushi splits into uncontrollable, unmanageable number and reaches Ada. So they're kicking that down the road. I think we're 2 chapters into the new volume. I think that might be the climax for volume 8, where he finally reaches Ada. I could see that happening. Shikadai will find out that Inojin was helped by someone to power up that fast. I think they're gonna kick that down the road too. Boruto goes missing for a bit. So yes, you got that right. Absolutely. Boruto is not in the chapter a lot this month, and I like it. You know, make us miss some. You know, that's one of the things I did enjoy about Naruto's manga is that it took the scope off of Naruto for extended periods of time. It's okay to do that. The main character does not have to be the central focus of every chapter. So I do like that. And you know, like Ikimoto says he's a big Dragon Ball fan and Toriyama's his eternal sensei. Even Toriyama went stretches even before the Z era. He went stretches where he took the scope off of Son Goku. So I do like that Boruto took a back seat here while also not being completely invisible. So I did like that. Anyway, the fight would be messy. Mamushi tracks Ada and pulls out through the claw marks after overwhelming Damon. Chapter ends with a cliffhanger. Questions. Do you think there's a possibility for Mamushi to figure out its own weakness and workarounds? Not while he's split up in that many pieces. I do think Jura, because he can see everything through the Shinju, if Jura didn't know about the eyes, he knows now. And I think that's the more dangerous thing. That's the more dangerous thing because say that's only Mamushi specific and it's not the other Shinju, which I would probably say is the case. Jura is going to be looking at Hidari, trying to figure out what weaknesses Hidari has, and he's going to be looking at his own weaknesses. Because Jura has been built up as this impossible being. And like Boruto being stated to be the only person that can defeat him means that it's not just about raw power. It also means that Jura has a weakness. Boruto may just, as of where he is right now, not be strong enough to exploit it. You know, so I think that might be something we see benefit Jura. What will the village look like in case Shikamaru gets impeached? I think that if Shikamaru does get removed, I keep going back to it, but Ikimoto did say in 2017 or 2018, I want to say it was 2017, he said that, as a matter of fact, I know it's 2017, he said that Himawari would have a bigger role in the story, which ended up happening, and he also said that Kakashi would have a bigger role in the story. You know, it's just taking longer to get there, but he said with both of those characters, there was a reason we weren't seeing them in that it will be spoilers. So it's one of those things like we saw Himawari, but not as a ninja. He was referring to her in a ninja capacity, saying that because of her bloodline, it'd be a waste for her not to be a ninja. And it's something that he's going to think about how to incorporate. And the same thing with Kakashi, saying Kakashi's a super popular character. So why wouldn't he be in Boruto? Instead, it'd be a spoiler. I think this is the most logical place you can insert Kakashi whenever something happens when Shikamaru has to move away. They've kind of laid it on too thick, even going all the way back to chapter 5 of Two Blue Vortex, where it's either chapter 5 or chapter 6, where the elders are reminding him he hasn't officially become Hokage. And we know that there isn't anybody else in the Hokage position after Naruto because there hadn't been a ceremony, because there hasn't been a face carved on the Hokage monument. So I do think it's probably at some point we're going to see Kakashi. I don't know when, but I think that's the logical point. He says, stay blessed, fam. One love. I appreciate you, man. Oh, Snap says, what's up, Naruto? Explain, fam. Hope everyone had a great holiday. I'm excited for this chapter because of the seemingly victorious fight. However, we all know things are going to go downhill. So let's get into it. Okay, what you got? In the manga, Ikimoto has a tendency to have a high height followed by a slope. So multiple things will go wrong and something tragic will happen. For one, often meets his destiny on the road he takes to avoid. Okay, I see what you do with the quote. With Boruto popping around like Nightcrawler, Jura might be involved, which indicates a potential Himawari Kawaki encounter. I don't think that we'll see Jura in Konoha. I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't. Like maybe if Mamushi crosses a line, but I don't think so. Nobody's strong enough to take him on just yet. Shikamaru is going to be in trouble multitasking to attack in politics. You got that correct. I feel like Himawari might somehow get out of control or something because she hasn't really been training long enough with Kurama. So we did see some Himawari issues because it's a lack of skill, and the skill just comes from experience. When she was finding out that Bijudama, when we got that sneak peek, I'm like, why the fuck is she shooting that off in the middle of the village? And sure enough, Shikadai addresses it right then and there. In time, Sarda's Ohirume will come in handy, but I foresee that in chapter 31 or 32. Yeah, that'll be later. That'll be later. Like this chapter did kind of set up some stuff with Sarda, so I could see that. End of the chapter would be the opposite 29, showing someone down on their knees with tears and utter despair or panic, or Mamushi clones staying in the presence of Ada and Damon. I don't think we're getting Ada and Damon meeting Mamushi. I think that that's going to happen not in 31, probably in 32. You need something for the cliffhanger. It'll be very bold to do that. Like, obviously, it's not going to happen in this chapter, but it'll be very bold to do that in chapter 31. I think that that's probably something that happens in the cliffhanger for this volume. I think that's your more likely thing. It'll be interesting. You could have it at the end of this next chapter. That would be bold, though. Matthew Diaz says, Drew's our world champion, Drew McIntyre. I prayed for this and it happened. That's my fellow WWE Mark right there. He knows I'm referring to, man. So happy for Drew. Let's see. The Mamushi clones multiply faster than Boruto and Kawaki can take them out. Shikamaru's interrogation is delayed due to the chaos. Inojin sees that things aren't going to be as easy as he thought they would be. That definitely happened. Boruto or Kawaki meet up with Himawari and Team 10. Chapter ends with the Mamushi clone locating Ada. The moment anything happens to Ada, I'm flying my ass over there to Japan, and me and Ikimoto, we're going to have a nice sit down. And it's going to be very implied. I need to see those story drafts, and we need to change whatever needs to be changed. All right, let's see. Bright One. Oh God, what's this man got to say? Yo, Bright Man, I'm trolling right now, but he's usually really good at predictions. Especially like with some of the stuff when he'll do like the read-throughs in the Discord server. Like, hey, I'm reading this like you were saying, and I'm looking at this, and I think this might happen. I'm like, holy shit. Ain't no way this dude has not read, but he's good people though. Let's see, Boruto linking up with Team 10. See, I just gassed you up and then you said that shit. All right, let's see. Kobu wanted to see Shikamaru, but either Shikamaru ignores him or tells him that Vivi sucks. Wait, you didn't say that. You probably should have. Insider jokes right there. Patrons get that one. Or tells him that he can't not go. Beings the Shinju and Boruto have been sighted in the village. So yeah, good. He did hold him, even though he knew about the Shinju and Boruto being there. Mitsuki and Konohama will leave to go fight. And I think we'll either see Mamushi spot the house that Ada lives in, or we'll see Kawaki spot Boruto using Koma freely. The fight with Mamushi, I think, will end around 32 or 33. I agree with you on that. I think 32 or 33. If it ain't the end of the volume, it's going to be the start of the next volume. It's going to be somewhere within the next, not 31, but 32, 33, or 34. It's going to be somewhere in that range if I had to kind of guess just looking at it. But then again, I mean, this has been a pretty fun little encounter here. I wouldn't be mad if, because even the Ryu fight, that stretched a bit. I wouldn't be mad at it if I had to guess. Let's see. I do think it is possible that when Mamushi makes contact with Sarada, Hidari will make his move to devour. That would be a plot twist. That would be bold, though, to just go that quickly into Hidari and Sarada, because then you would just be teeing it up for Jura. And the reason why I say that is when you look at how Boruto's manga has been doing things, it's very quietly. Like the first arc was very super fast paced, and especially if you just go through and you read everything in one sitting, it doesn't feel fast paced when you read it chapter by chapter. It was the same case with Attack on Titan, but when you sat down, you read the chapters a few volumes at a time, the pacing was quick, except for where there was a lot of info dumps. I said to say, in the Sand Village arc and what's going on now, Ikimoto very quietly has been building in some spaces where the anime can take a beat to pause and do some anime original stuff. If you just read the Sand arc a little closer and you read what you have now a little closer, there's a little bit of stuff built in there where it's not whole anime original arcs that you can build in, but there is enough stuff kind of built in to pause where the manga material can be expanded for an episode. Basically think of what Demon Slayer did with the Hashira training arc, or what it did with the Mugen Train stuff, where you had some episodes that just built on stuff, and you had a few original episodes with the Mugen Train, and then with the Hashira training stuff, like half what you saw in that season was the anime just adding stuff that the manga already did, just building on top of it. He's built in some room to do some similar stuff there, and that's kind of why I think that this might stretch a little further. I think that that is deliberate. That's part of why I do think that Boruto's anime is in a pre-production phase right now, has been for a minute. It's still early on in the process, and by early on I mean that you've probably been in pre-production since last summer, like late last summer. So that's kind of why I'm saying that. So let's see. Tommy Bunny Bread says new Chocho Jutsu. Nope. Tommy's a big Chocho fan. We see Sawda and Damon fighting Mamushi clones, not necessarily together. Mitsuki is finally allowed to join the battle. I do think we're going to see Mitsuki at some point. I do think that. Going over to YouTube, man. Yo, I love this meme, man. I did this over on KRYPTONIAN SAIYAN, which is now Anime Explained. I've been using this one for years now, man. I love it. I got that meme off of Naruto base or Naruto forums. Whenever those two things are active, somebody shared that, and I remember saving that and just trolling Sasuke fans with it. Where he's like, come back to the village, he said. Can't rebuild the village without you, he said. Fucking idiot. Can't believe I listened to that dumbass. My nose itches. All right, let's see. Code Zero says, my brother in Six Paths, you are a wanted criminal. It's because of the meme, man. Yo, I fucking love that meme, man. I love it, man. All right, let's see. BMX Hunter Wow says, Boruto realized the Byakugan sucks and turns on his real eye. That Jogan hype. Then Kakashi comes in and takes his Jogan and becomes Kakashi of the Jogan eye. Yo, this is so unhinged, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. You guys do not change. Do not ever change. Dova 3162 says, free Sasuke till it's backwards. Absolutely. All right, let's see. Lost Sheep 578 says, free my goat Sasuke. He ain't do nothing wrong. Man, I don't know, man. I'd have executed Sasuke, man. Let's see. Triple FF 2958 says, Lord Kobu forcing the ninja to go kill boards. That would have been interesting. That would have been interesting. That really would have been it. But then again, like, he wouldn't even have to do it because we saw it in this chapter, which obviously you wouldn't have had that info because when it was posted. But looking at it, like, he wouldn't need to do it because it's basically been on site whenever they see Boruto, which I like that. I like that Ikimoto's keeping that energy there because in all of their minds, they're looking at Boruto like, this is the guy that killed the 7th Hokage. We have to avenge Naruto. So I do like that. I like that aspect. Let's see. Ola Jong 2315 says, okay, that's interesting. What if one of Mamushi clones attack Damon, it gets reflected to every single Mamushi's at the same time since they're technically one and the same but not normal clones. Food for thought. No, it don't work that way. Like, you're thinking like with shadow clones, like if they dispel the fatigue goes back. So no, I don't think it will work that way because the way that they've been described, they're all autonomous. So I don't think it would necessarily go that way. It'd be interesting if that happened. That'd be a hell of a loophole, but it'd be one of those things. If that was a case, then Kashin Koji probably would have said it because that's a good way to take out Mamushi. So that's kind of why I'm like a pausing a bit on that. I do like it. You're thinking outside the box. I like that. Dirty Sprite 1301 says Chocho gets bit, LOL, from crushing the if Chocho walks up talking about some boyfriend stuff with them. Oh, you mean crushing like when she, you know, cause Chocho's boy crazy. So that's what I thought you meant when you said crushing. But yeah, when she used the expansion jutsu, that'd have been dope. That'd have been dope. I wouldn't have been mad at that. Triple FF 2958 says, we're going to see why Kashin Koji is not happy what's happening. So that did happen. That man said Kobu's got to go. Savage. Yesuma Bob 890. Amado releases the files. Inari from the land of waves becomes a Shinju. The Ichiraku ramen guy gives Jura Rob. Imagine, not the Amado files, but imagine Jura just pulling up to Ichiraku ramen because he's looking for Naruto. He's like, I heard that the 7th Hokage likes to frequent this fine establishment. Give me some of your best ramen. And the guy's just sitting there eating some ramen, some miso pork ramen, reading a book, and then like Kakashi's sitting there reading Make Out Paradise. Oh, I need that, man. I like that would be so unhinged. I would lose it. Imagine Jura reading the smut that Jiraiya wrote. I'm like, this is not literature. Then again, hey, you never know. This would be hilarious. Like, imagine Jura finds out, because in the Boruto anime, we find out that like Jiraiya's books got turned into movies. Imagine Jura finds out that books are turned into movies that he can watch, and he'll be sitting there like, this is nothing like the book. That would be so fucking unhinged. He'd be my spirit animal. I was like that when I was watching the Harry Potter movies. I was like, that didn't happen in the book. They changed that. Like, oh man, yo. Jura, I understand. Now let's see. Sandra Grubber says Mamushi shows how powerful he really is. The chapter ends with him confronting Ada. I think that's coming within the next couple chapters. That's definitely coming. Triple F 2958 says maybe after Boruto joining Himawari, we see Kurama talk about him. I think that's Ikimoto's purposely kicking that down the road. Sarda and Mitsuki in action, and Ninja attack Boruto while he's protecting Himawari from Mamushi. So we did see Boruto get attacked. Let's see. Spurlock Record says, Bob Record says, I want Lee and Kakashi to do something. I would recommend you watch the video I did on where are the OG Naruto characters in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. That's all I'm gonna say on that one. It'll have Shikamaru on the thumbnail with Sakura and Rock Lee drawn with the ugly faces laughing, and everything's in there. It's a pretty detailed video. Blackheart 77717 says, all I know is I want to see Damon fight. I'm tired of him being a bench warmer. It's been like 3 years. Has it been 3 years since he's whooped Code's ass? It ain't been 3 years. Oh, damn, I guess technically it has been 3 years. Because that should have happened in 2024. No, 2023 is when the anime went on break. So that should have happened in 2022. Damn, so it's been a minute. Yeah, we might need to see Damon do something. He ain't on fraud watch, but we gotta see him pull up and fight. Put that juice box down the mammal crackers, fam. Heat on Prime. That sounds so fucked up. Like you got Optimus Prime. Imagine you got a Heat on Prime. This motherfucker pull up like some Transformers Decepticon shit. Let's see. This is so gonna get demonetized. I already know. I've cussed way too much in this video, man. Like YouTube, I was telling some patrons this in the Discord server. Like you can cuss a certain number of times and then they'll age restrict your video. Some creators don't care. I need every ad cent I get. I keep it PG-13 over here. Let's see. I believe Shikadai, and Sai will learn about Inoji not being in the village. So good prognosticator. Sai did learn. I believe Mamushi will gain the upper hand and will learn Ada's location by the end of the chapter. That might be next chapter. I think Shikamaru will rebuff Kobu's attempt at interrogation due to state of emergency. So he did try it and he was unsuccessful. So good right there. That was a good prediction. Michael Hill 2931 says no predictions. I guess everybody else is memeing, so why not? But I wanted to say I love your video. I appreciate you. You give so much detail, and the amount of effort you put in the videos doesn't go unseen. Take care of yourself. I appreciate you, man. I'm doing a lot of editing myself, but like you can tell, like when I get editors on the content and everything. So I appreciate you, man. I really do. This year I'm going to experiment a little bit. I got a couple guys that I do want to use for edits, and I got some video formats I want to do because I've got 500 fucking topics already listed out of just Naruto stuff that I've not done. And I could edit them myself, and it probably behoove me to edit them myself, but I really want to just, kind of get that extra polish put on them. So it'll be, I don't know, this should be fun. It's just gonna take a little longer to get those done because they're gonna be bigger videos. Bigger by my standards at least. Let's see. Titanium Cranium says Himawari's uncle will return from the other world maxed out cooking skill. Oh, Jesus Christ. Neji fans, I gotta end it on that one. Neji fans, I gotta leave it on that one, man. I gotta leave it on that one. Jesus Christ, man. Oh, Six Pass Dunga. Appreciate you, fam. Just kind of scrolling through these, man. Six Pass Dunga. Make sure you go subscribe to him if you have not already. Let's see these guys say. I'm skipping ahead on this and give my boy some love for a second. I mentioned in one of my videos that I fully expect Boruto to be attacked by Konoha Shinobi. Shikamaru mentioned that he fully anticipates Konoha to try and intercept Boruto in the village because they still view him as an enemy. So I think we see Boruto confront Jonin and either get away from them via flying Raijin or fly his way. Yep, good prediction. Make sure you give my guy some love, man. Make sure you give my guy some love. Six Pass Donga. I haven't watched his videos in a while. Only because I do not like to look at other content creators. My partner managers is on me. Like, hey, you should see what other people in your niche are doing. I don't like to watch other content creators because I don't want to be influenced. If you hear me say anything in a video, it's dead ass because it's my thoughts on the matter. Like, I like to do discussions or whatever. Like, hey, like, do you think this should happen? Or I noticed this plot point here. Where do you think this is going? Or like if it's something like with a character pulling off a feat of something or video essays, whatever it is, it's my sincere thing. But like, I'm aware of Six Pass Donga because I started noticing that a lot of my viewers are watching him because YouTube tells you what your audience watches. So make sure to check out his channel. The chapter review will be out tomorrow and I'll update the end screen to reflect that for you.